this one's wife. They cried when she left. Now, you may well imagine that when this one's wife departed, there were cries of relief, tears of laughter at the departure of the Duchess of Delusion and her ginger poodle. But in actual fact, this one's wife wants it known that there were people who were very much saddened by her departure. Yes, a woman who was known as the Duchess of Difficult, a woman that was accused of bullying, but yet there were those that mourned her departure. If you say so. Demonstrating once again the way by which this one's wife is petty and must settle scores, we have another example, courtesy, of course, of Omid Scobie's work of fiction, Bell Endgame, which has an excerpt referred to in the Standard newspaper. The point of this is for this one's wife once again to try and deal with the threat to control. The issue of her being a bully is entirely commensurate with the status that she has as a narcissist. She wouldn't bully anybody in full public view. Her facade management would prevent that from happening. But behind the scenes, where she believes that she's superior to an individual, for instance, by virtue of the fact that she has a title and a person is staff, it is entirely conceivable that she would be nasty, unkind, and bullying towards them. If that member of staff did not do what she wanted, if that member of staff did not do it quick enough, if that member of staff questioned why she wanted to do something, all of those outcomes are threats to control, which would ignite her fury. Accordingly, because there was no public to witness it, her narcissism could utilize the manipulation of bullying, heated ignited fury, intimidation, shouting, argumentativeness, fierce insult, and utilize that towards that individual to bring them under control and to punish them for the audacity of threatening her need for control. Thus it came to pass that there were various instances of members of staff crying as a consequence of the way that they had treated her, quitting because of the way that she had treated them, and of course a report that was commissioned into allegations that she was a bully. The report was hushed up, but nevertheless it still remained that there was an allegation that she was a bully, and that of course is an offence to her need for control. It flies in the face of the image that she has in her own mind that she's always right and kind and other people actually bully her, that other people are cruel towards her, and that's entirely unfair. Thus, because the issue of bullying repeatedly pops its head above the parapet, her narcissism compels her to need to do something about it, to bop it back down like whack-a-mole, and thus, in the similar vein as archetypes, Bell Endgame is being used to settle scores. The Standard reports, Omid Scobie's bombshell new royal biography, Bell Endgame, is published today and counters previous bullying allegations made against the Sussexes by staff, nullification of threat to control. Katie Strick writes, some royal aides cried tears of sorrow. Yes, I'll say that again because you're probably laughing so hard you're wondering if your ears have deceived you. Some royal aides cried tears of sorrow. This is the deluded world of this one's wife. Remember, she believes that every woman that meets her thinks, isn't she beautiful? I wish I could dress like her and have beautiful tresses of hair like hers. Oh, how envious I am of this creature of saintly beauty that stands before me. Similarly, her level of delusion is such that she believes that every man wants to knock her hip out in a game of hide the sausage. Furthermore, her level of delusion is such that she believes that people genuinely were upset by her departure and that they cried tears of sorrow. Thus, it is reported, as per Omid Scobie, some royal aides cried tears of sorrow when this one's wife, the Duchess of Sussex, stepped down from her role as a working royal in 2020, according to Omid Scobie's bombshell new royal biography. The book, Bell Endgame, is published today and looks inside the royal family and the monarchy's fight for survival. Its author, Scobie, who co-authored the book Finding Freedom in 2020, has previously been dubbed the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's mouthpiece for his sympathetic portrayal of the couple, but has insisted that he is not their friend. See parts passim. In extracts from the new book, seen by The Standard, Scobie describes how there was never a word uttered or overheard about bullying or anything that resembled such behaviour among staff working for the Sussexes at the time. Right, so when Tom Bauer reported in revenge on the fact that key members of staff were seen crying on tour and that there was a rapid turnover of certain staff because of her behaviour, that's not a word being uttered or overheard about bullying. Okay, if you say so, Scobie. In fact, it wasn't until this one's wife's final week in Britain as a working royal that I first caught wind of potential staff hostility on the horizon, he continues. And how did you catch wind of that potential staff hostility, Mr. Scobie, when you were working at Buckingham Palace? Oh no, you didn't work there. Well, perhaps you had a long lens camera that enabled you to see in through the windows so you could see potential staff hostility. No, you didn't have that either, did you? Scobie describes a moment he watched two team members wipe away tears as they bid farewell to the Duchess. Yeah, right. If anybody was crying when they were going, it will have been tears of relief. Thank God this woman is leaving. Thank God we don't have to work for her anymore. Scobie apparently says that he was told later by one of the couple's aides, "Don't write, the staff were sad to see her go. Not all of us are or want to be portrayed as such." Well, at least that sounds accurate, that not all of them are sad to see her go. He claims that the same aide went on to help at least two journalists with stories about the couple, particularly this one's wife, even though there were no definitive examples of the alleged bullying. This particular extract comes in reference to allegations of bullying made against this one's wife by former royal staff in March 2021, just days before the US broadcast of her and Prince Harry's 2-hour tell-all interview with Oprah Winfrey. According to allegations in reports at the time, the Duchess drove out two personal assistants and staff were humiliated on several occasions during her time as a working royal. Buckingham Palace said in a statement at the time, "We are clearly very concerned about allegations in the Times following claims made by former staff of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Accordingly, our HR team will look into the circumstances outlined in the article. Members of staff involved at the time, including those who have left the household, will be invited to participate to see if lessons can be learned. The royal household has had a dignity at work policy in place for a number of years and does not and will not tolerate bullying or harassment in the workplace." Reports at the time uncovered a complaint that was made against this one's wife by the Sussex's former communications secretary, Jason Knorf, in October 2018. Knorf reportedly suggested that this one's wife made unreasonable demands that led to the departure of two personal assistants and the undermining of a third during her 2-year period as a working member of the royal family. Notice again that this ridiculousness of Omid Scobie to insist that people are upset to see her go backfires. Collateral consequences once again, because it provides the Standard with an opportunity to bring up the bullying allegations and the evidence that surrounds it, which has far more credibility than a Weasley lickspittle that is there brown-nosing the backside of this one's wife. The Standard continues by explaining that the claims were not pursued, and the following month Knorf handed in his notice. A spokesperson for the Sussexes dismissed all the bullying claims out of hand. Denial, first line of the twin lines of the narcissistic defence, and lawyers acting for them said they were based on misleading and harmful information dating back several years and deliberately leaked ahead of the interview. Scobie's claim that some staff were sad to hear of this one's wife's departure is the first time he has spoken out on the bullying allegations. His new book also claimed that the king is jealous of William's position and resented Harry's popularity with the media. that William prioritised loyalty to the monarchy over loyalty to his brother Harry, and that the Princess of Wales and this one's wife were encouraged to dress like Princess Diana, so that some of her shine would rub off on them. See parts passing. Another attempt by Scobie to make it seem like this one's wife was a saint, and actually because it's pursuant to the standing instruction, which is to nullify the allegations concerning bullying. But it spectacularly backfires. Not only does it completely lack credibility that members of staff were sad to see her go, but to report that they were crying as she departed is laughable. And then all it does is provide the Standard with the opportunity to repeat the detail about the bullying allegations. Once again, Scobie, by trying to be a loyal lieutenant, fucks it up on behalf of his handler. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.